use a Purify, which I feel like this is one of those games that it's okay for you to have a Purify.
Yeah.
Prone, but who is going to come up on top here?
Man, you know, today and the past couple days have been a whole lot of sweep action that we've seen, and hopefully this one goes the distance here because, you know, moving forward, semifinals next, you want to go ahead and see them bring it the distance, and the drafts will have the distance for Aurora. I mean, the Louis Yi pick has only been brought up, what, one time? This is now the second time Louis comes through. Again, leave it up to Coach Mitch that they're looking for. Then what do they wait for? You know, TNZ to get stacks like we've seen before on this, like possibly the Sky Piercer for that AURORA. Sigiboom has probably been one of the better performing Paquito gold laners that we've seen so far throughout MSC. Again, I can't forget how he played it against DLPH, and you know, that's one thing that can be said too, that they can utilize here throughout this game.
Yeah, and I think that that's going to be the main win condition, right? Especially since they're on a timer. They still have like about 6... Oh, hold on.
Whoa, that's a timer right there too. Kyrie's going to be able to get away, taking out Pagu. Man, it's just, again, all you have to do is play around that deadly magic once it's up.
Yep, and most importantly, wait, hold on. Gonna get a quick TP here just to open up the map and get a good idea of where TNZ might be looking to hide, knowing that the purple buff is going to spawn in about 12 seconds. This next neutral objective is going to be difficult to contest for. Lupi has so much of an advantage against Lunar because of the previous interaction by Turtle side, so I think this should be a no contest overall, but that depends on what Aurora is going to do with this, because I'm seeing members making their way up towards this top side, and Kelra, he's only got the Purify, so once BMI is down, he's sort of a sitting duck.
They just want to go ahead and trade it out, right? Objective for potential play across the map.
Oh, delivery service?
Yep. Diversion's going to be used right to that mid lane. Pagu this time, the difference here is he's actually got the kick available. Last time they fought for this, he was only level 3. Lunar is going to jump it. Daytona's welcome. Pagu trying to zone out Sans. Already using that Keyboy now. Half health gets kicked right to the team. Will deliver Keyboy up, and Lunar will secure the turtle. So Aurora fighting back, and now they're going to be crashing it down in the mid lane, pushing them back further. Luffy has the shields and space to work with. Did pop the Purify, and will survive.
Good use of the Purify there. I thought Pagu for sure was going to get in, clapped on the third hit of G Kundo, manages to walk out of it to save his life. So not bad. It's 2 for 2. Not a real advantage overall. I think even when we're looking in the jungle sectors, right? Even Kyrie being able to steal away at least one of these turtles puts him slightly ahead of TNZ, while everybody else just doesn't seem to be on the back foot, right? Yeah. Lunar and Lutfi have evened out. Sigiboom actually has a bit of a lead onto Keller because of that double waving, and we're waiting for it to accumulate to maximum, a critical mass, as they call it. Oh no, Keller, does he know?
Diversion used. Kelra.
Dive angle.
He does still have the Purify. It's not popped yet. Kyrie's going to re-enter here. They go in. Wrath of Dry to follow up. Pagu already goes for the kick. They burn the flicker from Sans, but Sigiboom comes in with a 1-2. Able to pick up one, and they'll eat another. Taking out Keyboy. Aurora finds 2.
They're eating good today. They're eating very, very good. And Kelra ends up missing the wave this time around. Oh, wait, actually, 1 minion manages to slip through, but Aurora, they're not done yet. They're looking for mid-tier 1.
Yep, and Kyrie had to back off of this, so then Luffy just left to his own devices. Will get taken out, dissected from the team.
Man, you can tell the difference between a good Barretts and a bad Barretts, how they flickered Detna's welcome, but the usage of the rocket jets to predict, hey, if you purify, if you flicker, this is the angle you're going to be in, and I can knock you right back into the fight, making these chases so much harder to leave.
That's right. Yep.
That's my king.
Coach Midnight, again, has been a key part of what Aurora Gaming has been able to accomplish so far through this time. Again, this draft, something a little bit different than what we've seen, but it's just this execution from Aurora Gaming that has been so well. Again, there wasn't a huge lead that they had until now. It's not that it's massive already, but it's 2.6K that switched on very quickly off of 1 or 2 fights. And so now ONIC playing on the back foot, they've got to be able to readjust this. This third turtle's coming up here. We'll see if they actually want to go ahead and approach this or just wait. Already half health on this turtle. Again, Daytona's welcome. Pagu looking for that follow-up. Raptor Triumph! There's so much damage in that central point. Sigiboom won't be able to follow through the flicker, but there it is. TNZ will. A stack secured. And now he's going to be able to get away here so easily as they look for another.
Oh my God!
Oh no, Kyrie! gets kicked. I know you're a wizard, Harley, but you can't get away.
Oh my goodness, Aurora playing out of their minds. The red herrings, they make it look so easy right now, but they're just not missing a single beat. They're not too tunnel vision. They're still open-minded to the way that these fights need to actually progress. Let's look at the replay one more time, right? Because again, this was an incredible catch here, spitting him right into Keyboy's face, making sure, despite the fact that Sans tried to flicker on out of there, dashed twice to make it all happen. The chase, the rundown from Aurora's squad, it's difficult to beat. Once that major impact is landed and Keyboy doesn't have that Wrath of the Dryads, it's so much harder for ONIC to peel them away.
The unfortunate thing is once the Wrath of the Dryad is dropped down, that's also just a clear signal for Rosa to be like, okay, you want to fight here? I'm just going to go ahead and get these yin-yang interactions procced off, you know, and pump out enough damage. Everyone's centered around that Wrath of the Dryad setup anyway from Keyboy that the Luigi pick is actually a great counter into that.
And that's the thing. It's about finding the anchors here. So far, Aurora, Rosa has been generally untouched this entire game. And, you know, given the caliber of player, Rosa just doesn't seem to ever be out of position. And that's where Pagu comes in saying, I'm willing to die for the Thorn Queen every single time, if necessary, just to make sure that Rosa doesn't fall behind. On the opposite side, right, ONIC doesn't necessarily have a dedicated anchor. When you are pulling backwards, who do you fall back to if not Sans?
Yeah, that's why one of the things, again, if you look at what ONIC can do here as they fall further behind, man, 7,000 gold deficit for ONIC. You've got to play into the Claude, right? You've got to go ahead and let Calra get to that point, but then even so, if you already have the Trinity, you walk into those team fights, it's going to be the same case where you're just overloaded with that damage, that front damage that Aurora has to play around with, and this Lord is going to go freely over to Aurora Gaming.
Well, that's a really good point here. In just a little bit, Zipper, could you pull up the items? I mean, we need to know how far Kelra is from that Trinity as of right now. I think he should already be done with the Golden Staff based on the total amount of gold the team has, but I'm not 100% sure. In the meantime, though, Sigaboom, this is probably the strongest he is going to be throughout the game. He legitimately can 1v1 Kyrie, Sans, and Kelra if they just walk into a bush, and I think that's the big fear for Aurora. Opening up the map, especially with Keyboy, he's died 3 times opening up the map and fighting for that space. It's just really hard to get back up for him.
We'll see how they play this out. Lord slowly walking up here to this mid lane. They still have the Holy Defense Shields to play around with, but ONIC, again, with this kind of lineup, can they still defend this? 10 minutes into the base, the Lord charges in that mid turret. They're going to have to deal with this wave pushing in as the bottom also turret. Shield pops. Mid turret down. Aurora stays disciplined for now. They'll let them clear out the Lord here and see if they can get more.
I like it. I like it a lot. ONIC says, you know what? Mid inhibitor, whatever. We can deal with it no matter what. As long as it's not the long lane and we have to play this awkward Lord fight every single time, especially dancing around that pit, it's just not worth the effort. And ONIC recognized that, right? It's the setup for the later half of the game to make sure that Kelra is in a good position, because so far, there's probably their only win conditions besides, you know, maybe punishing Pagu, maybe punishing Sigaboom. And even then, you kind of need Kyrie +1 to make that happen. Let's look at the items, because finally, we see 2 already completed for Kelra. Kyrie actually opting to go for a more bruiser build this time around. He does not want to die randomly to either Sigaboom or even to someone like Rosa.
Yeah, he's kind of has to, you know? We've seen it, how it happened in the first fights. I mean, that first hurdle, it was just him being patient. He went in with a retribution, but every single team fight after that, you just see how quickly he has to go back in time to survive, you know? And that brute force is going to help him a little bit. Few stacks here for Tienzi. This is what we were mentioning earlier on. You know, you're going to pick up that AURORA, you're going to be able to get those stacks. You're a threat in itself. And honestly, if ONIC puts too much to try to deal with Tienzi, that's where, you know, again, they're not paying attention to the rest of the side, the side attack here from Sigaboom or even the diversion from Rosa. There's almost too many things that ONIC has to be wary of in these team fights just because of the nature of composition that Aurora has.
Oh yeah, and I think that's going to be hard for especially Lutfi. As much as he wants to be in the faces, he needs to act as Peel. He needs to cut Lunar off from certain angles and force him to flicker. But as you can see, right, it's moments like this where Lutfi, he can't just stay in front of their face forever. He has to pull in and out consistently to maintain his health.
Okay. Again, at least some defensive items here being picked up now by ONIC, even in Immortality for Keyboy, just to get him there a little bit longer. Kyrie will pick up Genius Wand. Sans has been holding on to the Luigi ult, right? That diversion. Maybe there's some trickery that they can go with to set them out for this fight for the Lord or potentially take it.
I think the winning play is if San steals the Detna's welcome and he is able to combo with the falling Star Moon to guarantee somebody gets locked against the wall during a neutral objective. That's my best guess. Because so far, I feel like Aurora are hyper aware of specifically Keyboy. They're like, Helra, okay, sure, we got flickers, we can get out of it. He only has Purify, so after the BMI, there's no follow-up after that. The next problem will be whether or not we're too low and Kyrie is able to kind of clean this up.
Yeah.
Considering his build, we're not going to get one shot. It's over a duration of time. So really just boils down to how Lutpi, Sans, or even Keyboy finds an out-of-the-box play.
The out-of-the-box play is going to have to happen in the defense, man. Again, with their backs against the wall. This Lord should still be able to be dealt with, though, given the fact that you're 10 minutes in. You know, you've got pretty good clear with this. They can lock it down if they have to, if it's sacrificing that Wrath of the Dryad to go ahead and keep this thing forward away from that crystal. That could be a play for ONIC. But just like them, Pagu's got his own immortality.
Yep.
They've got their defensive items to work with too. They're going to go ahead and push it in. They want to take this top turret down first while ONIC deals with the Lord. They're going to go anyway. Daytona's welcome. Right on target. It's the tankiest member is going to get kicked away too. Keyboy dropping down the Wrath of the Dryad for the back line. Tienzi is there zoning everyone away. It's a split fight happening here with already Keyboy buying so much time. Finally goes down. But now Aurora looking to cap out game of one. ONIC on this defense. They got to clear out these waves. They're still charged up. Tienzi will jump in. Able to take out Kaura. And that's going to be it for game one. ONIC facing a tough loss against Aurora.
Abuse the fact that a lot of her damage is directly